Okay. Hello out there. Can you hear me? Can the universe hear me? I have no idea how to tell if you can hear me. Not possible for me. It looks like you can. Looks like you can. I'm going to wait a couple seconds, couple minutes, see if we get any folks hanging out with me this evening. Hope it's going okay out there this evening. It's a beautiful Thursday. Lots of books being read. Hey, Kaylee. Hey, how's it going? How's it going at your new job? Tell me all about it. I need to hear everything. I've heard excellent things. People talk about you behind your back, about how awesome you are. Just so you know. Happens a lot. Does this happen a lot to you? I'm assuming it means that you're making really cool stuff at Dog River, and I'm going to need you to make all that stuff for me too, and just not get paid for it. Can we do that? Can we shake on it? Oh, 6 people. Hi, 6 people. Hello, 6 people. Hi, this is Rachel. I'm the manager of Neil Olmsted. 7 people. I'm the manager of Neil Olmsted Memorial Library in Carrollton. We are, just so you know, we are open to curbside service at this moment. So if you haven't been getting your awesome library books, today is the day to start. We would love to get them for you. So hey, Victoria. So it looks like we're friends here. That's nice. I see Kaylee's here. Kaylee's here. So I'm going to start in just a minute. I do not have a camera this evening. My husband is a teacher, and he took his camera to work because he's starting off the school year digitally. So he's making sure he can reach all of his young people, and I'm trying to reach my people, and there's one camera between us. So that became an issue today, I just learned. Do I sound okay? Can y'all hear me okay out there? All right, so all the involvement and the love would be great. I think we figured out a way so that you can see the PowerPoint pretty well. So I'm gonna actually scoot to the next. There's lots of people here. Say hi if you're here. Hi. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Victoria. You do too. You sound lovely. So hopefully I've moved on to the next slide. It's kind of hard for me. I don't get the automatic, there's kind of a delay if you're not used to it. I know that lots of our programmers, like Kay, who does excellent children's program during the week, there's 2 story times and a school age story. So we have some kind of event every week for kids from 0 to 12. So we just get that covered. And then we also have a teen program every week, and that covers all teens. And then we have a scattering of adult programs like D&D that happens twice a month, and we have our book clubs, our mystery book club, and our Thursday night book club. So if you don't know what's happening for adults, that's what we've got pretty consistently. And we're adding our newest book club. It's the second Thursday of the month at 6:30. So it's actually in this time slot. It would be right now. And it's a... Hold on. I feel like I should wait for it. It's going to be awesome. Come on, slide. It is a graphic novel book club. It's a graphic novel book club. Everyone should join it. It's open to, because it's digital, it's really open. Hi, Maddie. It's open to everyone, just in the region. Anybody that you know, if you have any friends who are really into graphic novels and they have no one to sort of commiserate with on this subject, ruminate with on this subject, we've got them covered. So you don't have to be, I have people in our book club they're living in Seattle. And as long as you can get into a Google Meets meeting, which everyone can, all you need is the little link. Then you can get in. Then you can join the book club. Because it's all online right now. And that's really, there's a lot of all the things that we're missing out on because of having to do social distancing. And it's really unfortunate. It's very stressful. I know it's stressful for everyone. But it also offers us some opportunities, like connecting with people in these smaller groups that we wouldn't be able to connect with otherwise, or that we would find challenging. It's also made us, as a library staff, have to get really creative. And this is another example of that. So Hannah is going to be running our graphic novel book club. She's new to us, but she was at the university library. So if you've been over there to UWG, you may have seen her. She's awesome. She's amazing. She also is working on our makerspace and all that stuff, but she knows everything about graphic novels. I think she's read every graphic novel in the region, which is just kind of impressive. Hi, Lynn. So I'll start with hers. So these are recommendations from the staff. We're focusing on graphic novels tonight because we're celebrating that Hannah is joining our programming team by having this new program. So she's going to start off with two really nice standards of the past decade or so. So these are really accessible. She's excited about them because anybody can really get into these. They're very universal. They're very universal in appeal, and they're kind of the two separate aspects of the trends in or some of the trends in graphic novels right now. So you have your traditional superhero revamp that's being revamped, and we're seeing a lot of that. I'll talk a little bit more about that with my picks at the end of the slideshow. Hello. But her first pick is Miss Marvel. So what we're going to do in the graphic novel book club is there's going to be two picks. So you get two flavors. So you don't have to read both of them. You can just read one of them, but they are pretty quick reads. For those of you that read a lot of graphic novels, you know what I mean. So it just gives a lot more to discuss, and you can have different entry points. So if somebody's not really into Marvel, well, they don't have to read it. They can read the other one instead and still feel like they can participate. So Miss Marvel is one of the big successes to come out of Marvel Comics in the last decade or so. This is Hannah talking. I'm talking as though I'm Hannah. I'm not as awesome as Hannah, so it doesn't sound as awesome and cool when I say it, but that's what's happening. It's a new character. She's really relatable, and she has a compelling story. I think there's been a lot more focus on story and origin in Marvel, and just making it less about the power itself and more about the ethics of wielding that power, which I think is a really smart move on their part, to have some sort of complexity there within the character, branching out into different kinds of characters, different cultures, different ethnicities, and really exploring what the superhero genre can become. The other one is Adventure Zone, and it's a comedic fantasy comic based on the Dungeons and Dragons podcast of the same name, and it's drawn by a fan artist. Hi, Mom. That's my mom. That's my mom, everybody. Hi, Mom. So it's drawn by a fan artist. So if you're a fan of D&D, if you're a fan of that particular podcast, or if you're just a fan of adventure and comedy. So it gives a little bit of lightness, which I think we could all use a lot. In fact, a lot of our picks, I think, for graphic novels either tend towards the extremely kind of grim, and as we're moving into the fall, we'll see some fall picks, or in the opposite end, these extremely lighthearted pieces. So everybody, if you want to be in the graphic novel book club, if you want to join us, just send me an email. Let's go back to the first slide then, because my email's not on there. Okay, my email's not on. I'll just tell you what it is. My name's Rachel, so it's R and then LINN at wgrls.org. So just email me about it, and I'll see that you get to Hannah, get to where you need to be. And she's really excited about it. She has a lot of knowledge, and she's also just like really insightful. She just really can break things down. It's very impressive, and I think you'll like hanging out with her. So you should all do it. Okay, next up, I asked the children's department, and they were universally celebrating Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And I think a lot of that celebration is they are great. They are great. But from a children's librarian position, what's really great about them is that they help reluctant readers find their way into books. So it's really hard sometimes with the 10-year-old age group, the 9-year-olds, to get them from the picture books all the way through the easy readers, all the way through there's a lot of transition that happens all through your early years in reading. And some kids can feel like they're getting left behind. Some kids can feel like they get stuck. And these Diary of a Wimpy Kid, if you know any kids like that, these will help them get over that hump. And there's 15 of them, so they can really just get through them. Those in the Dog Man series as well. And so for us, this is something that we would really push. If you know any reluctant readers, this is a great series for them. It's not overhyped. It's really good. But don't buy all 15. Come get them from us. We have them all. Trust me, we have them all. In duplicates. We're ready. It's such a popular series. Another thing I would recommend, I often recommend if you do know a reluctant reader, is that sometimes it's easier to do nonfiction, to do things about animals, to do things about the stars with reluctant readers, because a Wikipedia article can be fascinating, but it might not necessarily break them, make them feel like they're not able to conquer it. So if you can get a really simple book and they can still learn something about a tiger and they feel accomplished and awed by it. So those are my recommendations, for that. If you guys have any recommendations for Hi Bev for this age group, please let us know in the comments. It's a big genre. There's a lot of really great stuff here, especially since Diary of a Wimpy Kid is so popular. Another nonfiction. Actually, I'll go to the next slide. Some other things that I would recommend for kids are the Narwhal and Jelly books. There's a couple of those, and you can always look for this Will Eisner winner seal. So if you're looking for a seal of quality, that's kind of a Disney-esque seal, and so that'll tell you that'll be a winner if you pick it up. So sometimes it can be intimidating to get into all of these kids books, but that's great. And then the Smile is also really popular. There's a whole bunch of her books as well. I'm always going to mess up this name. Telgemeier. I do it. I don't know why every time, but she has a bunch of books, and they kind of hit the maybe 5th grade area and deal with some of those topics as well in a really fun way. And then there's always just, if your kids like a TV show, we've probably got a graphic novel. If we've got a graphic novel, we can probably get them to read a novel. There's a lot of, in YA, there's a lot of Batman and Wonder Woman books that are they're books, they're novels, and they're really good. But that can be a nice transition if you're trying to get your kids, those are more for older kids, into reading. Having these familiar characters can really help out. So, what do I got next? Yay. Has anybody read any of these guys, by the way? I'm just curious. The Narwhal and Jelly books are really cute. So, staff picks. Margaret is first up. I kind of ordered them a little bit by age appropriateness. This is another big, oh yeah, the Dork Diaries. Yeah, that's a really good one. Similar age group to the Diary of a Wimpy Kid, so they can just read constantly because we got lots of options. So another issue I feel like comes up for parents a lot, and for kids, is knowing age appropriateness, because it's really hard to tell with graphic novels unless you're pretty savvy in that field. So these are ones that I would recommend. The Anya's Ghost is one that might be a little bit younger. It's a middle grades one. So Anya's Ghost is a really good one to go for there. And Margaret says it's her favorite graphic novel. It's written really well. It has mystery, it has drama, and it has comedy, and she thinks that everyone should read it. And then Brazen is one that both Kaylee H and Margaret recommended. And it's a little bit older. It's more of YA, but it's nonfiction, and it's a perfect way to introduce. This is Kaylee talking about it. A perfect way to introduce nonfiction in a unique way. It talks about different women and how they impacted the world, and so that's if you're looking for a way to get your girls or boys into nonfiction and history a little bit. This might be an introduction. It's a little bit older than Anya's Ghost, maybe. Let's see, what is it? Yeah, and Margaret says that it shines a spotlight on women and their contributions to history and society. It's really popular. It's been really popular. A lot of what we have here is universally enjoyed. Oh, I don't know why. Sorry, Bev is commenting on the audio, but I don't think it's on my end because y'all can hear me. Anyway, so I have let's see, yeah, I have Mandy's next, and she is recommending The Flying Couch, which is an interesting one because it's actually 3 stories in one, and I think Graphic novels can do these layered stories across time in an interesting way because they can also lean on the art to sort of designate location and space and time in a way and meld them together and meld those moments together in ways that, say, film cannot. Film is really dependent on just the fade from one shot to the other, and that's how we indicate passage of time. And the language is much more limited, I feel like, in film. And graphic novels have really exploded the possibilities of the artist speaking. So it's really nice. So this is the main character, Amy. It's her own coming of age story as a Jewish artist, and it's layered on her mom's story, who's a psychologist, and her grandmother, who's a World War II survivor, who escaped the Warsaw Ghetto by disguising herself as a Gentile. So it's all of these stories layered on top of each other, and how these women in her life, specifically her grandmother, inspires her to take up the pen and draw. So I've heard really good things about it, and Mandy really likes it, and I trust Mandy's opinion on pretty much everything in life. So her other recommendations, Bee and Puppy Cat. If you've seen Bee and Puppy Cat, it's so adorable. It's also a YouTube thing you can watch. And I have this little guy on top of Bee's head is Puppy Cat. I have a stuffed puppy cat. I do. It's in the back of the house and makes puppy cat noises when you touch its little paw. So I'm invested. I'm in on Bee and Puppy Cat. And the other one is Zero's Journey, and I think we get a little excited about Halloween at Neva Lomacin. It's pretty much everyone's favorite. I'm a Christmas girl, but everybody else tells me that I'm wrong and that it's all about Halloween. And so we have Zero's Journey here. I'm actually not sure what the age demographic for Zero's Journey. I don't know if, Mandy, if you're still here, if you know where that falls. So yeah, see, Victoria's on team Halloween, I think. And in fact, Victoria is next. So Victoria, and let me see if I've written down Victoria's. She recommends The Way of the House Husband. So this is a really fascinating mashup. I like it when mashups are done really well. And Victoria says that she and her husband both love this series and that they never agree on anything. So if you're interested in manga, which a lot of people have heard of, but they haven't really explored, this might be an interesting introduction because it's about a former Yakuza member who becomes a house husband. So it's a comedy, and a lot of the comedy surrounds housework and house chores and cooking and this sort of thing, and his transition away from this violent life into this very domestic life. And just the comedy of that. So I think a lot of people can relate to his trials and woes of crepe making and breakfast and massages and such. And Mandy, you do need a puppy cat. I got it for Christmas 3 years ago. It's mine forever. You can't have it. She says every volume gets better, so that's always exciting to see. And she said, if you're feeling stressed and you want some fluff, this is a great book for you, a great series for you. And I said she could pick another one because everybody else went ahead and sent me 40,000. When I put out the email, everybody was like, let me send you 40. And I had to sort of pare it down. So she also recommends Prince Freya. So this is maybe a little bit more typical manga. And it's one of those high fantasy mangas about a girl who has to pretend to be the prince in order to save the kingdom. So it has that kind of typical setup. But my understanding from Victoria is that there's a lot of surprises that leave you guessing and really wondering how these issues are going to be resolved. So I happen to love this genre with the huge world building that comes with really deep manga. So, and it also has some I looked at some panels earlier, and they're really beautiful panels as well. I'm a big fan of really good manga art. So, let's see. Where are we going? Oh, I forgot to tell you what Bee and Puppy Cat was about. So, it's a bored temp worker and her odd pet, and they just try to survive, and they sort of travel around this weird universe. You know what? I don't even know if I can explain Bee and Puppy Cat. Watch the YouTube, and then you will understand, and then you will love Puppy Cat forever. Okay? That's the plan. That's your assignment. That's your homework, everybody. Okay. Let's see what we got. Kaylee is Kaylee is a lover of books. She loves a lot of books and she loves them hard. It's a very beautiful thing, her love for the books. So these were three that she sent to me that she articulately proposed. And she is very much into the Halloween. So two of these are Halloween choices. One is The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. So this is the graphic novel that the Netflix show is actually based on. And you can't really tell here from the cover, but it's extremely pulpy. It's got those really thick, dark, scraggly lines. It feels very 1950s. It's a really fun style. So if you remember those sort of pulp graphics from that era, from the 50s and 60s, you will really appreciate The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. You know, kind of it's the Sabrina Spellman from the 90s TV show, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and they've been updated and given kind of a dark twist. So it's a Halloween favorite. The Witch Boy as well. So let me see if I can find what Kayla said. She loves it. It's a middle grade one. It's a middle grade graphic novel. It talks about the important topics like toxic masculinity and gender norms, and it's especially important to talk about those things in those middle grades books. So it has a much more gentle style of art and a pretty gentle sort of narrative style as well. Let's see. Why would you tease us this way, Kaylee? That sounds amazing. Oh, 0 is Disney. Yeah, so, okay. So 10 and up. So it's not, it's basically with the movie. So it follows with the age of the movie. So if you feel like the movie is age appropriate, then it'll be age appropriate for you. Cool. And then Paper Girls, I sort of stole this one from her list just because it's so popular. People love it and it has that great 80s Stranger Things vibe. So also going into the fall, there's a lot of love for Stranger Things. This might sort of fill that void while you're waiting for it. Let's see. Okay. This is mine. These are mine. I did 4, which is not really within the rules, but I got a little excited and I don't know what happened. And here we are. So I am more traditional, I think, than a lot of the staff. It's probably because I'm older than a lot of the staff, to be honest. So I like things like Spider-Gwen, which is Marvel's. This is another reboot, another revamp. And the idea is, what if Gwen, Stacy, was bit by a spider instead of, I've lost his name all of a sudden. That other kid. What is his name? Peter Parker. Just blanked completely. And instead of Peter Parker. And so it just gives a different twist on the universe. It takes place in the multiverse and it follows along with the style and the plot of the Into the Spider-Verse movie, which I'm a huge fan of. Into the Spider-Verse. Really well put together film on every level. My manga choice here is Full Metal Alchemist, which is just a classic. It's the top 5 of all time on everyone's list. There is no list that doesn't include Full Metal. It just doesn't happen. And for good reason. So it's really great. And I would probably say middle school and up. Maybe 7th grade and up. But that's more just because I don't know that you would appreciate it before that. There's a lot of awesome complexity in it, in the story. And it's all about brotherly love. So these two characters you see here are actually brothers. It'll make sense, I promise. And their relationship anchors the whole series. So the other two, I would say, are more adults. So these are the adult offerings. Because we had a lot of offerings that leaned more teen, I wanted to give some more adult options. Identity Crisis is an older graphic, maybe from 2000, maybe a little older. And it is a DC comic. And it kind of gets into some of the issues with being a superhero. So what if someone is threatening your family directly? How long do your ethics sort of last in that environment? And a lot of the questions that can kind of come with that. And so it's a very complicated kind of work, and it's not as focused on punching and that sort of thing. It's more about the internal workings. And I think that DC Comics are at their best when they're dealing with those weightier issues, my opinion. and Batman and Superman. So I'm into that. Okay, and I also like it when I'm actually a secret Superman fan. No one else is, and I like it when somebody finds a really easy way for Superman to be horribly defeated. It's like, oh, that was easy. Yeah, that makes sense because. Whenever that happens, you're like, oh, he's not the end all be all. He actually has weaknesses, and pointing those out points to a lot of cleverness on the part of the writers, and I think makes the character more vulnerable. And my last choice here is Saga, and this is the second installment of Saga that I have here, and you can see from the cover it is fairly adult, and it is about an endless war between two peoples, and one person from each of those groups decides to marry, and all the struggles that they have because of that. So those are definitely more adult though. Those last two, and the other two are more teen. Okay, and I just want to end by re-mentioning that the reason that we're so excited about graphic novels this month in particular is because next month, starting in September, in the same time slot, the second Thursday of the month at 6:30, we're going to have this graphic novel book club. So email me, email the library, give us a call, and we will get you signed up. All you have to do is get a link. You click the link, and you can do it from your phone. You can do it from your computer. Doesn't matter. It'll pop up, and you'll be in the conversation. So you can get both of these works, Miss Marvel and Adventure Zone, on our cloud library, which is our digital library app. So you don't even have to come to the library to pick it up and read it. But we also can get them for you in physical copies if you're old school like that. Okay, so that's what I got. Does anybody have any thoughts or comments or stuff? Victoria? So you like the Identity Crisis? It's a good one. All right, I'm gonna count to 10. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to close it out. It's just, this also happens to me in meetings when I'm on Google Meets. I don't know how to shut it down because I feel like I'm talking to myself, and that's weird. Anyway, I'm just going to close it down by saying, keep reading, keep loving each other, keep building community. That's what we do at the library. You know what, Kaylee? I'm just going to say bye. Keep reading. Bye.